It's always the quiet moments that stay with people the longest. Not the flashing cameras. Not the roaring applause. Not even the headlines. But those few honest words, spoken by someone who was actually there. And when Kim Youngjin finally opened up about what it was really like working with Jimin, you could almost feel the entire fandom pause for a second. Because somehow, even after all these years of watching Jimin shine on stage, there was still another side of him waiting to be discovered. You guys, can we talk about this? Because honestly, the more people who work closely with Jimin speak about him, the more one thing becomes impossible to ignore. They rarely start by talking about his talent. Instead, they always end up talking about who he is when nobody is watching. And somehow, that says everything. Imagine walking into a rehearsal room before sunrise. The lights aren't glamorous yet. They're almost cold. Staff members are quietly setting up equipment. Someone adjusts a camera. Another person checks the music levels. Coffee cups are scattered across the tables because everyone knows it's going to be another long day. It's the kind of atmosphere most fans never get to see. No stage effects. No screaming crowd. Just people preparing to create something beautiful. And then, the door opens. Jimin walks in. No dramatic entrance. No celebrity aura demanding attention. Just a warm smile. A gentle greeting. A quiet, good morning. It sounds simple. Maybe even ordinary. But according to people who've worked around him, those little moments immediately change the atmosphere of the entire room. How does someone do that? How can one smile make dozens of exhausted staff members suddenly smile back without even realizing it? That's the kind of presence Kim Youngjin described. Not loud. Not overwhelming. Comfortable. Like someone you'd instantly feel safe working with. And honestly, that might be one of Jimin's greatest strengths. Because being an incredible performer is one thing. Making everyone around you feel respected. That's something entirely different. As Kim Youngjin reflected on their time working together, he didn't paint the picture of an untouchable global superstar. Instead, he described someone who never stopped paying attention. Someone who noticed the smallest details that most people would overlook. If a staff member looked nervous, Jimin noticed. If someone had been working non-stop for hours, Jimin noticed. If rehearsal wasn't going as planned, he noticed that too. Can we just stop there for a second? Because think about the pressure Jimin carries every single day. Millions of fans watching. Global expectations. Constant rehearsals. Endless schedules. The weight of representing one of the biggest groups in the world. Most people would understand if someone in that position became completely focused on themselves. But somehow, the people around him keep describing the opposite. And that's exactly why Kim Youngjin's words touched so many fans. Not because they were shocking. Because they felt genuine. There wasn't any need for exaggerated praise. No dramatic storytelling. Just quiet observations that slowly revealed the person behind the spotlight. You know what's fascinating? Sometimes kindness becomes invisible. We're so used to hearing stories about huge achievements that we almost overlook everyday acts of consideration. Holding the door. Remembering someone's name. Asking if everyone has eaten. Thanking every single person after rehearsal. These aren't headline-making moments. But inside a workplace, they're unforgettable. Especially when they come from someone who could easily choose not to. Kim Youngjin explained that working with Jimin never felt intimidating in the way people might imagine. Instead, it felt surprisingly comfortable. And that's such an interesting contrast. Because on stage, Jimin transforms. Suddenly every movement becomes razor sharp. Every expression tells a story. Every glance reaches the audience. His presence becomes almost overwhelming. It's powerful. Magnetic. Mesmerizing. You find yourself unable to look anywhere else. But the moment rehearsal pauses, everything softens again. The intensity disappears. The superstar becomes simply Jimin. How does he switch between those worlds so effortlessly? Honestly, that's one of the biggest mysteries about him. You watch him command an entire stadium. Then moments later, he's quietly thanking a camera operator. It's almost impossible to connect those two versions in your mind. Yet they're both real. And maybe that's exactly why so many people leave collaborations talking about his character instead of only his performances. But wait. That wasn't even the part that made ARMY emotional. Because Youngjin also reflected on Jimin's dedication. And this is where the story becomes even more meaningful. Perfection. It's a word often associated with Jimin. Fans have seen countless rehearsal clips, repeated dance practices, tiny adjustments, endless repetitions. But hearing someone from behind the scenes describe that work ethic hits differently. Imagine performing the same movement again. And again. And again. Not because someone forced you. Because you believe it can still become better. Most people would stop once something looks good. Jimin doesn't seem satisfied with good. He keeps searching for something that feels right. Something honest. Something that fully communicates emotion. Can you imagine the level of concentration that requires? Hours pass. The music repeats. The choreography repeats. Everyone grows tired. Yet somehow, his focus remains. Not because he's chasing perfection for applause. Because he genuinely cares about the experience people will have watching. That's a completely different motivation. And Youngjin noticed it. He noticed that Jimin wasn't rehearsing for cameras. He was rehearsing for people. For every fan who had waited months. For every person saving money just to attend one concert. For every ARMY hoping for one unforgettable memory. That's a beautiful way to think about performing. Suddenly every movement becomes an act of gratitude. Every small correction becomes another way of saying, I want to give you my best. Did you feel that? Because honestly, that's probably why Jimin's performances feel different. They don't just look technically impressive. They feel personal. Like he's communicating with every individual in the audience at the same time. And somehow, even professionals working beside him noticed that same sincerity. Then something else stood out in Youngjin's reflections. Humility. It's such a simple word. Yet incredibly rare. Especially in an industry built around fame. Success changes people. Attention changes people. Constant praise changes people. We've seen it happen countless times. But again and again, stories about Jimin move in the opposite direction. Instead of creating distance, success seems to make him appreciate others even more. He listens. He asks questions. He thanks people. He celebrates the team's work instead of only his own. Can we just appreciate how refreshing that is? Because entertainment is never created by one person. Behind every stage are dancers, stylists, lighting directors, editors, managers, makeup artists, sound engineers, photographers, dozens, sometimes hundreds of people. When someone at the center remembers that, everyone notices. Youngjin noticed. And years later, he still remembered. That alone says something powerful. Because people don't usually remember expensive outfits. Or perfect camera angles. They remember how someone made them feel. Think about your own life. Years from now. Will people remember every achievement? Maybe not. But they'll probably remember whether you were kind. Whether you listened. Whether you respected them. That's exactly the feeling surrounding these stories about Jimin. And maybe, That's why ARMY became emotional reading Kim Youngjin's reflections. It wasn't just admiration. It was confirmation. Confirmation that the warmth fans have always sensed through a screen is something people experience in real life too. Of course, nobody is perfect. Jimin himself has spoken many times about his insecurities, his desire to improve, and the pressure he sometimes places on himself. That honesty has always been part of his charm. Kim Youngjin's memories don't suggest someone without flaws, they suggest someone who continues choosing humility, kindness, and hard work despite enormous success. That difference matters. Because perfection can feel distant. Growth feels human. And Jimin has never pretended otherwise. There are also those little moments, the ones that never make it into official documentaries. A brief laugh after getting a move wrong. A shy smile when someone compliments him. A quiet nod as he listens carefully to feedback. Those moments don't go viral as often as dramatic performances, but they're the moments colleagues remember. They're the moments that build trust over long hours of rehearsals and creative work. You guys. Isn't that fascinating? The biggest star in the room, yet somehow making other people feel seen. That's a kind of charisma that can't be taught. It's not choreography. It's not vocal technique. It's character. And perhaps that's what Kim Youngjin was really describing all along. Not just an artist with extraordinary talent, but a teammate. Someone who understands that beautiful performances are created together. Someone who knows that every spotlight shining on him is only possible because countless people stand behind it. As those reflections spread through the fandom, many ARMY shared a similar reaction. They weren't surprised. They were simply moved. Because every news story from someone who has genuinely worked with Jimin seems to add another small piece to the same picture. A picture of someone whose greatest strength may not only be the way he dances, or sings, or captivates millions under stadium lights, but the way he quietly treats the people standing only a few feet away from him. And somehow, those quiet moments often end up echoing louder than the performances themselves. Because after the music fades, after the cameras stop recording, after the stage lights go dark, those are the moments people carry home with them. And just when you think Kim Youngjin's memories couldn't paint a clearer picture, you begin to realize something even more meaningful. Maybe the reason so many people admire Jimin isn't simply because he became a global star. Maybe it's because, somewhere along that incredible journey, he never stopped being the kind of person others genuinely enjoy working beside. And once you start seeing Jimin through that perspective, it's almost impossible to watch him the same way again. The next time you watch Jimin step onto a stage, something changes. You don't just see the flawless choreography. You don't just hear the steady vocals. You don't just admire the breathtaking visuals that have captivated millions around the world. Instead, you begin to notice everything in between. The small bow before a performance. The way he instinctively looks toward the dancers after a difficult routine. The smile he shares with a staff member while walking off stage. The quiet nod of appreciation after someone hands him a microphone. They're tiny moments. So tiny that most people would miss them. But once you've heard stories like Kim Youngjin's, those little gestures suddenly feel much bigger. They tell a story without saying a single word. And maybe that's the real reason Jimin leaves such a lasting impression on everyone he meets. Not because he tries to, but because kindness has become part of who he is. Honestly, can we just appreciate how rare that is? In an industry filled with endless schedules, constant pressure, and impossible expectations, it would be easy to become distant. It would be understandable to focus only on surviving another rehearsal, another flight, another performance. Yet again and again, the people who work with Jimin describe someone who still takes the time to acknowledge everyone around him. Someone who never lets success erase his gratitude. Someone who understands that every incredible stage is built by countless hands working together. And that's something money can't buy. That's something fame can't create. That's simply character. As ARMY, we've always admired Jimin for his incredible performances. We've celebrated his breathtaking dance lines, his emotional voice, his unforgettable stage presence, his ability to make an entire stadium feel silent with just one look. But hearing reflections from someone like Kim Youngjin reminds us of something even more meaningful. The brightest stars don't shine because they're trying to outshine everyone else. They shine because they bring warmth wherever they go. Maybe that's why every new behind-the-scenes story feels so emotional. It isn't revealing a completely different Jimin. It's confirming the Jimin we've believed in all along. The artist who gives everything on stage. And the person who quietly gives respect to everyone behind it. Those two versions aren't separate. They're the same person. And perhaps that's why millions of fans from every corner of the world continue to feel such a deep connection with him. Because talent may inspire admiration. But sincerity creates trust. And trust creates a bond that lasts far beyond a single performance. So when Kim Youngjin finally shared what it was really like working with Jimin, it wasn't just another behind-the-scenes story. It became another reminder that true greatness isn't measured only by awards, record-breaking achievements, or sold-out stadiums. Sometimes, true greatness is measured by the memories you leave in the hearts of the people standing beside you. The ones who see you before the cameras start rolling. The ones who witness the long rehearsals. The quiet conversations. The moments of exhaustion. The moments of determination. The moments no audience will ever fully see. Those are the moments that reveal who someone truly is. And judging by the people who continue to speak so warmly about Jimin, his greatest legacy may be much more than his performances. It may be the kindness, humility, and respect that people carry with them long after the collaboration has ended. As this story slowly fades, one feeling remains. Gratitude. Gratitude that behind one of the world's biggest stars is someone who still remembers to smile first. To thank people first. To work harder than expected. And to treat every person with genuine respect. Maybe that's why, no matter how many years pass, no matter how many stages he conquers, no matter how many records BTS continues to break, stories like this never stop touching our hearts. Because they remind us that sometimes, the most unforgettable performance is simply being a genuinely good human being. If Kim Youngjin's words touched your heart as much as they touched ours, let us know in the comments. What quality do you admire most about Jimin, his incredible artistry, his unwavering work ethic, or his genuine kindness toward everyone around him? We'd love to read your thoughts and celebrate them together as ARMY. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss more heartfelt BTS and Jimin stories from behind the scenes. Thank you for spending these moments with us. Until next time. Take care, keep supporting BTS, and as always,